Okay, hi everybody. My name is Richard.lesperance. I go by the name of my man Richard. Welcome to A Better Lifestyle. Today I have the pleasure to have once again on my podcast Tina English. Welcome back, Tina.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here again.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So Tina has a book out, so coming soon. So we'll be talking about that. I think it's coming out in November. Please first, Tina, tell everybody who you are. What do you do exactly? And then we'll jump in into the book.
So my name is Tina English, and the book that I wrote about is escaping the sustainable pain zone. And this is what I do. I help people to escape the sustainable pain zone, to create a life that they really want to wake up to like every day, and to really do something that they're like born to, that they feel like that's what they're supposed to do, because normally we hide a little bit. There is so much about what other people think is right for us, and sometimes we forget to be ourselves, or deliberately choose to not be ourselves to please others. And I'm just removing all the pleasing and try to get the real person out and help them to really create something that they can say yes to.
Mm. So, what inspired you to write this book?
Oh, what inspired me to write that book? That's difficult because it came just as an idea. I sat down and I was like, yeah, look, like everybody is talking about the comfort zone all the time. But to be honest, it's not really comfortable in the comfort zone. If you have ever been there, it's pretty there. The real comfort actually is when you step out of the comfort zone and when you do something that you really like, that your heart beats for. So I was like thinking, like the comfort zone, that's not comfortable, that's sustainable pain, because what you do when you're in the comfort zone is to settle to something that you kind of are okay with, but it's not what you want, right? And the only comfortable thing about the comfort zone is something that you know. So it's not comfortable, it's just something that you have been doing all over and over again. So it's kind of a safety zone, but it's not comfortable. So I stopped doing that. I was like, okay, that's not. I need to find a name that is really like making people aware of what they're doing. So as long as I call it comfort zone, people are like, yeah, it sounds okay. But if I call it the sustainable pain zone, then it's like, oh, sustainable pain. Why? What? Wait a minute. And then they start to think, because actually what we are doing when we are just settling into a life that it's okay but it's not fulfilling us, then we are in a sustainable pain all the time. We are not creative, we are not living our power, we are not stepping into our full self. We're just on half energy all the time. And I want to remove that. I want people to really like step into their full power, to their creativity, to their full life. And so this is what created the idea of the sustainable pain zone. Because I think the thing is, escape this thing and create something where you really feel comfortable in your life, in every day. When you wake up in the morning, you should say, what an exciting day is coming up for me, and not like, I have to go to work.
So, did you experience that in your own life?
Yeah, I guess everyone did in some. I think that education is kind of bringing us in a sort of sustainable pain zone, because we are always told what is right, what is wrong, what we need to do to fit in. But fitting in is not what we're supposed to do. That's not creating our best self, our individual self. It's just, yeah, being the accepted part. But if you try to be accepted from everyone, you deny yourself, and that's the problem. So first of all, you have to make yourself happy, because in the end you spend your whole life with yourself. So other people are with you, they accompany you. Yes, I agree, and this is important to have people in your life. But why not have the right people in your life, the people that love you and support you for who you are? But first of all, you have to be who you are for other people to love you the way that you are. As long as you keep hiding and adjusting all the time, then you're just wearing a mask all the time. And people, first of all, I think everyone feels when it's not authentic in some way. And second of all, at the end you break, for example, a relationship, but you never know if that person would have loved you, like if you would have been you. They just maybe didn't love the person that you pretended to be. And I think that's just the superpower that every one of us has, to just like be us, because everyone else is taken.
Do you know people around you that went through that and break to that sustainable pain zone?
Yes, I think everyone that at one point, I mean, as I said before, everyone kind of came from education and we have learned what's right and wrong. And the moment you sit back and say, like, well, I don't know if this is right for me, because it's not about what my neighbor thinks is right. It's not what my neighbor approves me to have, it's what I approve. So, for example, if you think that you need to buy a fancy car, because everyone likes fancy cars, but for you that's not important. For you it's important to go from A to B, and the car doesn't have to be fancy for that, and you want to have something else for that money, it's perfectly fine. But as long as you think that you have to do what other people think is good for you, you are in the sustainable pain zone. So every time you start to think about your decisions and making it from a place of alignment, of a place of what do I really want? So, for example, if we stay at the car example, it's not other people will like it, but I choose that car because it's big and I will feel comfortable when I'm driving. That's the decision that you make. Or, I don't know, maybe it's more safety or whatever your reason is. Buy it for your reason, not for everyone else's reason. I think this is the first thing. So, and if you look at this example, I think that each and every one of us has made at least one or two times a decision to escape the sustainable pain zone, at least a little one, and do something that is more in alignment with who you really are.
So, what are some things that you talk about in the book?
Well, it's basically, first of all, the first step is to understand that you are in a sustainable pain zone. And I think this is the most important thing, because we are so trapped in our everyday's life. We do the same. And, like, for example, the job, it pays the bills, so it's not so bad. But maybe you want to be you a business owner, but you're not doing that step because it feels like unsafe. It feels very big. Your job is okay. It doesn't fulfill you, but it is okay. And because you are in this job and because you are in this rhythm, you do not think every day, am I really happy? We don't do that. Normally, there has to happen something quite big in our life that we really reflect on our life's decisions. So, what I would like people to start reflecting, what am I accepting? What doesn't really fulfill me? And this is the first part. And the second part of the book is going to help them to make the first steps, the first adjustments, to, like, I think, find the courage to make the step out of the sustainable pain zone. Because in the end, like, for example, what I said before for the work, it's not just like that you have the idea of being an entrepreneur or a business owner. You have to find the courage at one point to leave the job behind and to just go and be a business owner. And that takes a lot of effort and courage. And you need to just find it in yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to happen for you. You will always find excuses why you cannot make it. But you need to make this step. You need to leap out of where you are so you can become what you're supposed to be. That's the second part of the book. So this is what we do. First of all, we discover where we are at, and then we try to, like, move out and take the leap and the step into whatever you want to be.
This is gonna seem a funny question, but how do you get courage?
How do you get courage? Well, I think it's always like a little bit of tiny baby steps. It's because courage, I think the problem is not the courage itself. The problem is the fear. The fear why you're not doing this. And the first thing is to understand that the fear is there and to be okay with fear. Fear is not the problem. Fear is only a problem when you let fear dictate what you do. So the first thing is, what am I afraid of? And what can I do to, like, step by step create more safety for me so I would not feel so scared? And by every step that I take to create this safety loop for myself. I eliminate fear, and this is how I get more courage. And every time I do something to get more courage and I succeed, courage is growing. So it's not like you do something and then like, but the next step, no, you have now succeeded. You have this success moment, and you can build on that because you, with every step, you kind of build the success muscle and it gets stronger and stronger. And the more success moments you create, the easier it gets to make the next step and to make the next step, even though you're a little scared. But you build the muscle to say, like, yeah, I know I'm going to be scared, but that's okay, I'm doing it anyway.
This, for the most part, requires deep searching inside of someone's self, like they say, like soul searching. Do you think people sometimes are afraid to go deep inside themselves and find the truth inside themselves?
I am 100% sure that many people are afraid to look inside themselves. It's just like feelings. I think today I made a post that was just about like acknowledging what I feel. Like it's so scary sometimes to say, that hurt me, or I like you. Something like that's the most scary things to do. So it's not only saying it to someone else, but like look inside yourself and admit to yourself that this is happening inside of you, that someone else or some situation has that of an impact on you. Because that hurt me is a big impact. And many people, they try to they push it away. It's like, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. But this is the first step to let it hurt you, to let that move through you and to see what it does with you. Because otherwise, you don't even realize that you are there, trapped in the sustainable pain zone. So if you don't allow yourself to feel, you will not notice anything. Compartmentalization is a problem. So like put it away. It's good if you're, for example, in sports, you need to, or if you're a business owner and you have to do something special in one moment, you have to be prepared, you have to be focused. Okay, yes, compartmentalize it, but then come back to the thing and take care about it. So yes, I think many people really push away feelings and do not want to feel a lot. But I think it's the very first step to really, first of all, realizing what is going on and then changing it.
You talk about also sustainable pain zone in other areas of life, like love and health. What do you mean? Talk to us about health. What do you mean by that?
For example, many people would be okay to be a little overweight. And that's okay. That's just what it is. We start on Monday the next diet, or next month, or next year, or whatever is convenient. But something always gets in the way because it's the grandmother's birthday and she would be angry if I don't eat the cake, for example, right? So we find these excuses to stay comfortable. No, comfortable, but in our habits, in what we know, in the safety zone. And this is what is in health. In health, people get, the results are not so bad. The doctor says I'm fine, so I can stay there. But what they don't know is if you're fine now, that doesn't mean that you're fine in 1 year or fine in 10 years. So smoking one cigarette isn't killing you. Smoking plenty of it, maybe, right? So it's not the one thing, and that's what people what I hear saying like is you're not gonna get big because you eat between Christmas and New Year. You're gonna get big because you eat between New Year and Christmas. Because that's the long run, not the short term that you do something. So, and I think this is I think in health is very difficult for people as long as they feel good to really realize that they're doing something that's not good. Like the couch potato is only feeling it when like going upstairs is suddenly feeling like a burden, when they start to can't breathe anymore, when the heart rate goes up and everyone else is just climbing the stairs with nothing. Then you realize, oh, maybe I'm not doing the best for myself. But as long as you're sitting on your couch, you don't even realize it, that you might have an issue. And if you're not, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're not looking at what you're doing, if you just ignore it and keep going, how would you realize it? Sorry.
I was listening to a podcast and someone was saying, in regards to tolerating something that you don't like, he was saying that if you do a job that you hate, it's hard to do. So it's hard to do a job that you hate. And on the other side, he was talking like on the professional side, he was saying like if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard, entrepreneurship. But he said he'd rather do the good hard, which is entrepreneurship, than the bad hard, going to a job that you hate. What do you have to say about that?
Well, for me, it's like there's no choice. One is fulfilling me even though it's hard, and the other one is not. So the choice is just if it's hard anyway, then just do that what really makes you happy. And I hear that really a lot of times where people are like, yeah, but it's hard. Yeah, but if you're doing every day what you don't like is really hard too. I was just like, oops, not saying the word, the F word. But it is like if you are doing continuously what is not making you happy, isn't that the hardest thing to do? Like, why would you even have the motivation to wake up in the morning? And this is what people like, they experience that in their life. It's hard to wake up in the morning. That's why the alarm clock goes on sneeze like 20 times for some. And others, they have like the alarm or don't even have an alarm, but they're up because they're super excited about what's coming up in their life on that day. So for example, if I have an airplane and I'm gonna leave for a beautiful country, do I need an alarm clock? Probably not, you know? But if I need to go to a job I don't like, maybe I need it because I don't want to go there in the first place. So the decision between the hard and I don't like it, and the hard, where okay, I have to do the work still because that is not that's out of question. You have to work for whatever you want, but then I'd rather do every time what like fulfills me, makes me happy, and what I want to say yes to.
So, how do you escape that, knowing that you don't know the outcome of the situation?
Yes, safety. But the question is there real safety in life? Like, if you have a job and the company gets bankrupt, do you still have a job? Then you might get just like unemployed. And for me, the question is how much safety do we think we have, but it doesn't really exist? So, where's the safety, the true safety in life? If there is something happening, safety is gone. Like if you have an accident, there's no safety anymore. And the question is for me, before that happens, whatever happens, it can be all good. But before whatever happens, before I die, do I want to be happy or do I want to settle? And this is the question. It's not about safety. It's not about that you don't risk anything. For me, it's always the question. There is no real safety in life, and you can blow off everything. You can make a mistake and then lose your job, for example. Or if we talk about relationships, it can go well or it can't, and it must not even be your mistake. Maybe circumstances do something to the relationship or your partner dies. I don't want that to happen for anyone, of course. But life is just how life is. And what then? Then you blame it on whom? Because you didn't get the safety that you were ruling for. So, why are you really setting on safety first? If you can have a life that really fulfills you. And I'm not sure, but being really happy for not like if you are in a relationship and your partner dies and you have been really happy before that moment, isn't that more fulfilling than being for 60 years with someone that you just like? It's always the question that you have to ask yourself. I mean, I'm not saying that each any decision is wrong. If you choose to be with a person that you just like, that's perfectly fine if this is a choice, but at least be conscious about the choice that you take.
What's one thing from the book that you want people to remember?
That there is so much that they haven't yet achieved in their life and they don't even look there. So, what I really would like people to do is start. looking behind the curtains in the rooms that they hide even from themselves, start to tidy up there, and then take a conscious choice if they want to continue this life or they want a change. So for me, I think the most important thing is that people wake up to what is and have a choice to choose something different. If they don't, that's fine. But at least know the status quo and don't say something like, that's just how life is, because it's not.
So when is the book coming out?
On the 18th of November is the release date.
Okay, so we're recording this in October. So you say the 18th of November?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so it will be available on Amazon and all that. Where besides that, can they go other places, website
Just
or
Amazon. We start on Amazon with that.
Amazon? Okay. And if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you?
They go to www.tinaenglish, it's TINAENGLISCH.com. That's my website, and there you can find any information about me and, of course, contact me.